Well, hello everyone. Uh, I'm going to talk about something really amazing here in this video. By the way, this video is brought to you by BarneyBay.com, where you can create, post, share, and win item to item wagers from eBay. You log in and you connect your items and then you wager it. So let's say a game coming up, a football game, you think the Cowboys are going to win. Basically, what you do is you connect your item, you post it, and that's your challenge. You think the Cowboys are going to win. If someone else logs on and they think the Eagles are going to win, then they'll accept that bet and they'll bet with something that they have from eBay. So that's BarneyBay.com. So this video is sponsored by BarneyBay.com. So I'm just real off the cuff here. Um, this video is about Three Eye Atlas and the amazing things that this thing is doing. Um, but I wanted to get into some facts about Three Eye Atlas that no one knows. Um, but first of all, Three Eye Atlas, of course, is this just weird comet that's coming in from the outer solar system or from far away, interstellar. It's the third interstellar object caught or discovered. Um, a lot of weird anomalies that are going on with it. Nickel outgassing, CO2 outgassing. It's just really fascinating. But this video is going to talk about kind of what I discovered um, in addition to the weirdness of Three Eye Atlas. So, all right, I'll start from the beginning. In December 2020, there was um, I'm blanking. On the winter solstice of 2020, there was a conjunction. So Jupiter and Saturn came together in the night sky, and they called it a great conjunction because nowhere it was like 8,000 years earlier was the next closest one. It wasn't as close as this December 21st conjunction. And a conjunction, of course, is two things coming together from our vantage point on Earth when you look up at the sky and they look together in the night sky. So that's conjunction. So the these things approach, Jupiter and Saturn approach very close, closer than it's ever been. That's why they call it the Great Conjunction. Um, so the Great Conjunction was great, and it happened on the solstice. So that was really unique too. So that was kind of a rare thing to have a great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, the two biggest planets in our solar system, um, and have them so close together in the night sky, and then have it on the December 21st, 2020 winter solstice. So, because I'm into science and space and stars and cosmology, I'm into all of that, physics. I had that date circled, and I was like, cool, this is going to be pretty epic. And I thought that, wow, conjunction, coming together, it's real symbolic of unity, of togetherness. And I thought, okay, if uh, if aliens are out there, this is when they would show themselves, right? Makes sense, yeah? So here I am, I'm going out there as the conjunction was getting closer to the 21st. So early December, I'd look out at it every night. And the 21st came around, and I thought that, all right, I'm going to see some cool shit if they're out there, because that's when they would come. We're all looking at the sky. It's conjunction, it's symbolic, it's coming together. Um, so yeah, there's that. And kind of naively, I thought I was gonna see something, but I didn't. It just was a nice night and just the usual occasional shooting star maybe. But yeah, nothing that would really grab your attention. So I was like, cool, cool, cool. And so anyway, the December 21st passed, right? And mind you that years before, the first interstellar object came, and that was called Oumuamua. So I know these dates in my mind. So September 9th, 2017 was the perihelion of Oumuamua, and that's when as it's coming through us, if this is the sun, this object came in from a high angle and then scooped up kind of under the sun and then sped out, right? So it came in like this, and like that. And Earth and Mars is all rotating like this, right? So it came in, top to bottom, and scooped under and went out. And on its way out, it approached close to Earth, pretty close. So that was interesting. And I thought, wow, interstellar object. And of course, if you know Oumuamua, the object itself was weird. It was like they don't know what exactly the shape was, but it could have been like a pancake. It could have been like a cigar. It could have been like a spaceship for all we knew. So I've been following Oumuamua, and just kind of keeping tabs on the latest science about it since 2017, because it was a pretty amazing thing, right? September 9th, 2017, perihelion, and then October 13th, 2017 was the closest approach to Earth as it went out. Anyway, so in the lead up until the conjunction, I've had Oumuamua, in my thoughts. I'd always pay attention, not like daily or anything, but I'd always pay attention. So Oumuamua came, and then the 3 years after that, um, the conjunction happened, and as I was leading up to the conjunction, or it might have been right after, I think right after. Yeah, it was after. It was like 2021 actually, March. So, and I thought about those two events. I was like, wow, and I was like, that would be cool. And I had this thought, this just kind of random thought, where and I just decided to search how many days before um, the conjunction was Oumuamua's perihelion. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if it was like a nice round number? I'd be like, wow, that'd be pretty cool. And certainly it was. It was 1,200 days. I was like, oh, cool. And I thought, well, if they were aliens, that would be a pretty nice little twist to the equation. And I thought, okay, cool. And so I kind of sat back and dwelled on it, and I kind of smiled. I was like, oh, cool, nice round number there, by chance, right? But then I thought, okay, well, what happens 1,200 days after conjunction? So 1,200 days before was a Muamua, and then the conjunction, the coming together of the two bodies, and then that same amount of days. Well, what happens after um, December 21st, 2020 conjunction? And spot right on the money, 1,200 days later was April 4, total solar eclipse of 2024. And I saw that, I was like, whoa. And so that was amazing to me. And I was like, wow, it fucking threaded the needle between two celestial events. So already I'm thinking, okay, this is a sign. This is part of the data. And you can fucking have a telescope and receive radio waves, or you can look at other things like the time matrix, and you'll see it. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I was like, cool. And so then I go, wow, that's really cool. And then I started looking at other things, other dates, and this is where kind of my mind started to get blown. And so I'll just rattle off a few. So so the Phoenix Lights, when that freaking craft went over Phoenix, everyone saw it, everyone tripped out. Um, Again, it's 1,200. So 1,200 days prior to the Phoenix Lights, there was um, a pair of eclipses. Okay, so 16 days apart. So 1,200 days before Phoenix Lights, 1,200 or 16 days apart, there was a pair of eclipses, a partial um, solar and a total lunar, I believe. Or, but anyway, they're 16 days apart. And then you go 1,200 days after the Phoenix Light. There's that same repetitive pair, the same pair of eclipses, 16 days apart. So two twin pairs of eclipses, 16 days apart. And then what the fuck? Oh, I see. 16 days apart. um, and then they're both 1,200 days from the Phoenix Lights. And then the Phoenix Lights happened 4 days after a total solar eclipse. So I looked at that. I was like, holy crap! And so, and I've found all kinds of these things. Tunguska, same thing. There's a Tunguska, the explosion, the biggest explosion in modern history, atmospheric explosion. So 1908, exactly 500, 576 days before, 575 days after, eclipses, right? And then further out, there's another pair, equidistant from the center of that event, the Tunguska explosion. So all these events are like symmetrically timed, synchronized. They're symmetrical. They're embedded. And so I was looking at all this, and there's a lot. There's a lot I could go over, but those are just a few, right? And so my mind is like, holy shit, um, what am I looking at here? Anyway, so I'll get back to Oumuamua. So Oumuamua, um, September 9th, 2017, 1200 days later, conjunction, 1200 days after that, total solar eclipse. Um, by the way, the total solar eclipse of um, 24, 2024, and there was one in 2017 that both went over the American continent, and their paths of totality, where they cross, right where they cross, is a town called Cape Girardeau, um, Missouri. And lo and behold, that point where they crossed is where a crash landed UFO happened with the full on three alien beings in there. Um, yeah, so there's a story Cape Girardeau crash landed UFO. That's another one. I was like, whoa, this is all like all syncing up, all matching. So, um, in the run up to the 2024 eclipse, I knew like what I was looking at, and um, so I was like, wow, cool. Go backwards, 2023. So early 2023 is when I really started to pick up all this data, and I was really getting into it. I was like, holy crap, what am I looking at? So many amazing things. Symmetry, the time symmetry is just amazing. Early January 2023, I was like, okay, all right, if what I'm looking at is real, there's a date coming up, and I just kind of picked it out like what is the next date upcoming where 1200 days after that date is a total solar eclipse. So I looked it up, and yeah, there's a total solar eclipse 1200 days from April 30th, 2023. And I was like, cool, cool. So I had that day in mind, the January and February of 2023, and I just kept it. All right, maybe I'll see something. You never know. Um, and then you know what happened on April 30th, 2023, 1200 days before a total solar eclipse? Well, I'll tell you. That was the day a fucking green meteor streaked over Las Vegas and crashed, and it landed, and then the 911 call came out right at midnight on the 30th, saying, I see freaking tall alien creatures. And it was a big news story. And when I saw that, I started shaking. I was like, holy shit, it's like 1200 days, boom, on cue. This happens. So let's get that back up. Ah. Anyway, barneybay.com. So I I was blown. I was like, okay, I've got something here. I've got something here. And this takes me to Three Eye Atlas. Um, I knew something was coming. I looked at the dates, and I knew something was gonna come. I didn't know what was gonna come or what date exactly, but I knew we were in this window of like Oumuamua, yeah, IM1, IM2, the interstellar. We had this just clustering of interstellar events and um, just activity, and I knew we were kind of in this like time where things were gonna start happening and happening quicker. And so Three Eye Atlas came in, and I checked the date. So the perihelion of Three Eye Atlas, um, it's just amazing. So October 30th, 2025 is when Three Eye Atlas makes its closest approach to the sun. Okay, so you take the amount of days from Oumuamua to 3i Atlas, perihelion of Oumuamua, perihelion of 3i Atlas. Those amount of days, you go backwards from Oumuamua, total solar eclipse. Exactly, total solar eclipse. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, it's within, it's in sync. It's in the nodes. It's on schedule, right? And so that's how I'm looking at it. And I don't know, did I discover this? Probably. I haven't seen anyone else talk about this kind of stuff. And so when I'm looking at all this data from 3i Atlas, I'm looking at it, with just a regular, um, I guess, scientific view plus the time matrix that I just kind of laid out. And you can totally go and freaking search all these dates, and your mind will be blown. Your mind will be blown. So, and I still gotta dive into the data of 3i Atlas. Um, so many patterns and conjunctions, and the way aliens would let themselves be known is subtly like that, right? It makes perfect sense. Eclipses and occultations, that's all subtlety. That's all hiding and revealing in certain ways. So this to me is disclosure. This they're out there, and 3i Atlas is gonna amaze even more. Um, who knows what's going? I have a prediction about 3i Atlas. There's gonna be a collision. Maybe not to destroy the the to destroy the comet, but there's gonna be some event, like some kind of explosion on 3i, and we're gonna catch the tail end of it, and it's gonna be another rare event on top of the freaking hundreds of rarities about this comet or asteroid. They're talking about nickels. Nickel only is being outgassed, and only CO2 outgassing, and it's just so much to dive into. But I wanted to make this announcement, and they're there. It's they do things within a time matrix, time window, and I call it the wave function of time, right? So some scientists point a freaking radio dish at the sky and hoping that they'll get a message like SETI. Makes no sense. But meanwhile, these interstellar meteors, which are odd and doesn't make sense, they're coming in right within this time matrix, and they're perihelions and their speed, and there's so much data to get into. But I invite you to look into it. But you heard it here first. Freaking world-changing announcement. The time matrix of 3i Atlas. If you like the video, share it. You can comment me below. There's more to it. I mean, just like the closest approach of Oumuamua was 100 exactly 100 years after the Lady Fatima mass sighting. IM1 and IM2, there's symmetries there. The dates apart. The freaking Portugal meter, that bright one, the real famous one, that was a prediction. It's there. Things happen like 19. There's another number there regarding 19 that always comes up. So 1200, 19 is another number, and of course 1200 is an ancient calendar. Um, um, the wow signal was 72 seconds, which is one 1200th of a day. I can go on and on. I should have a list, but I'm just going off my memory. But if you want to hear more, like and subscribe, I guess, and check out barneybay.com. And that's the announcement. Happy hunting.